This is the beginning. This is the video that you guys have all been asking about, and we have been putting a lot of effort behind the scenes to make sure that we could bring to you guys. So, hi, welcome to a brand new video. You might have seen by the title that today we are finally entering the realm of the home renovations and what we've been up to for the past October, November, December, January, February, March. So let's say 6 months, because December there was Christmas and everything, but we have been busy for the past 6 months, that's for sure. And there's been lots going on behind the scenes here at home with the house. We've tried not to share too much online on social media, not to give like too many sneak peeks away, because I really wanted everything to come together on this video a little bit. So I kind of want to take you through the whole realm of things. I have so much footage that I've compiled. I mean, there's going to be actually a couple of episodes regarding the renovations. Let's start right at the beginning. So, Yes and I have never tackled a project to this scale before. We bought our first home. We were very lucky, and we bought our first home very young. I think I was 23 at the time when I bought with Yessa our previous house. It was a very, very charming kind of like thatched Dutch cottage. And that's the first home we really put our mark and stamp on, and we did our first ever renovation there. Mind you, the renovation there took 1 month. So it was not that much that we did. We changed, like, we repainted everything, added a small wall, added a fireplace. We did like changing the countertop on the island. We changed the floor. We did like small things. I mean, the house was not huge, so we did like some small bits and bobs here and there. And the style we went for that property was, I would say, like kind of like English country cottage style. It really lended itself to the house. It's a style that both Yes and I gravitated towards anyways. We do like more of like a traditional style, but of course we couldn't go the full traditional mile there because it didn't suit the house. It's always important, I think, in an interior space that you kind of work a little bit with what you've got instead of like trying to force something on the place. And I was really, really lucky. On our previous property, I worked with an interior designer from Australia called Heidi Scott, and she was someone that I knew through the horse world. She was the mum of one of my friends, and I also stayed at their property with one of my horses, and I always used to think, one day when I have my own property, I'm going to reach out to Heidi and she's going to help me out. So as you can imagine, I didn't even hesitate to reach out to her once we started to work on our previous property. And together with her, she really helped me understand. I mean, she has so many years of experience in this field. She really helped me to understand a little bit of like what to look for, where to go with certain color schemes, what should be like the hero and the main piece of the room, what to work around, color palettes, all these kind of things. And she has a very distinct style that I really enjoyed. So that was an incredible journey to have her support and to go through together. And I feel like it laid a good foundation for me to have a very, very, very basic understanding of what I liked and what I enjoyed in my home. So Heidi, thank you so much for that. You were absolutely incredible. And for anyone who's interested in Heidi, you'll be able to find her. Maybe I can see if she's so busy all the time, but I can see if I can maybe link her down below. I will reach out to her and see if she has any sorts of links, but she is amazing. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, and that is that therapy is the best investment you could make in yourself ever, full stop. I have been in therapy now for over 5 years, and it's completely changed my life. Having someone to talk to, guide you through life, through the difficult times, through challenging situations. Having someone there to listen and give you the right tools is game-changing. Which is why I'm excited that today's paid partner is BetterHelp. BetterHelp is a mental health platform that provides direct online counseling and therapy. Starting your journey is quite simple. All you have to do is answer a couple of questions. Quickly, you'll be matched with a therapist within 48 hours. Now, one of the benefits I really love about BetterHelp is that it's mobile. It's really difficult to have a therapist be planned into your everyday life and stay consistent with it. That's why BetterHelp lets you pick how you want to interact with your therapist and when. So when it comes to the scheduling, when it comes to whether you would like to have phone calls or texts, whether you would like to do it from your laptop. And it also doesn't matter if you're busy traveling for work like I do. BetterHelp lets you stay connected and reach out to your therapist when you need it. If this is what you've been looking for, then don't wait. Head to www.betterhelp.com/matthaneke, and in doing so, you'll receive 10% off your first month. Was that when we sold our property, the new owners bought the majority of the furniture with it. It was kind of like ready to go, the house, you know? It was like everything just worked and they really enjoyed it and they kind of bought it as is. Yes and I basically just packed our clothes, but the majority stayed with the house. So now that you have a little bit of a reference point, coming into this space, I was very much overwhelmed because I was like, oh my God, last time, you know, we had lived in the house already for a couple of years. I really knew what I wanted to do and it was much clearer because it was a cottage style house. So the interiors for me were like very obvious of where to take it. But when we bought this place, my wheels started to turn immediately. And at first I thought, okay, there is so many different ways we can go about this. You know, you could do something a little bit of like a modern take on something classic and have kind of like a minimalist style and let really like the architecture and the walls speak for itself. But myself especially, and yes as well, we're not like minimalist interior type people. So straight away, we started to lean towards traditional, like really traditional interiors for these older homes, for these homes with a lot of ornamental, decorative pieces, high ceilings, big windows, old wooden floorboards, fireplaces. That's what we were working with. And I said to Yes, I said, okay, this is our opportunity to like take it there with the traditional style. So I want to talk to you guys about my initial mood boards because that's where I love using Pinterest for this. I love going on Pinterest and just seeing, okay, what's catching my eye. Like I always have like a vision in my head. And mind you, let me preface this by saying I'm absolutely not an interior designer. I'm someone who's just very passionate about creating a space in their home that like fulfills me and that I appreciate it and that I like and that makes me feel like I'm home. Like I've stepped into a place that represents me. So the first thing that I did is I went on Pinterest and I just started to make a mood board for like everything that I liked. And I'm going to show you guys some photos now of things that really caught my eye. And I was like, I want to go into this direction. I want to explore something of this. I really like the tones here. And I really found myself leaning towards a very English, traditional, slightly maximalist interior. I found that I enjoyed the neutrality of having the walls not be too loud, not be too colored. I really enjoyed seeing wall paneling on walls. In this house, there is a lot of wall space because the ceiling height is also so high. And I thought, okay, if I want to keep things neutral on the walls, I'm going to have to introduce some sort of texture on the wall in order for it not to feel like a big empty room. So wall paneling for me was kind of a no-brainer. This is something that I really wanted to do at our old house as well, but I couldn't because we didn't have the space for it with the ceiling height and also just it didn't work for that house. So that I established quite quickly. Neutral wall tones. I wanted to find something to introduce on the walls that was going to give it some texture, and I landed pretty quickly on the wall paneling. And for me, it was quite important to bring color into the home. Even though we have like the neutral color palette on the walls, it was very important to ground everything with color in order to make it warm and cozy and inviting and playing with a lot of different textures as well in different materials, different patterns, but in a way that it could still work cohesively. That was very important. Of course, there's a difference between seeing just like a Pinterest photo and then actually being able to bring that to real life and making it work. And there was plenty of mistakes that happened along the way. But the first thing for me was clear. We have to remove the wallpaper and start to strip everything back. We had a lot of restorative work that needed to happen on a lot of the wooden shutters, a lot of the doorways, a lot of the doors. So I was like, okay, let's just begin by bringing it all back, bringing that neutral tone into the space, and then seeing where we land from there. I want to preface everything by saying that we bought the home in July and we were able to live with how the placement of everything was for a couple of months. Even though we didn't live here, we would come here often. And then in October, my parents actually offered to come and live here with us for a couple of months to help us with the renos. And my dad is a builder, so it was incredibly helpful. And you guys will be seeing him a lot on the videos. I'm going to show you that my parents are really, really heavily involved in the project as well, along with other people. But my dad really like spearheaded the renovations, and we could have not done it without him. So I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update because I feel like a lot has been happening with the house. And that's because my mom and my dad have actually moved in to the house now, and they're gonna stay with us for a couple of months because my dad happens to be a builder, which is super handy. And he's gonna help us do a couple of jobs here before the builders come in and actually do some of like the bigger, more infrastructural stuff. But as you can see, stuff's already changing. I'm just gonna spin you guys around actually. That's my dad in the background, but if you look, we've already covered all the floor. And then this is the first room we're starting with, which is the living room. My dad's busy at work here. And we've taken all of the wallpaper off. The skirting boards have just been taken off to fix any water damage or irregularities that were behind there. The electrical sockets have been prepped, and now we're starting to place the moldings on the wall, which are looking so nice. So you can kind of see, this is the process here. It's starting to come on, and then where the orange squares are is where it's meant to be going. It was a little bit tricky because the room is asymmetrical. I think we've come up with a pattern and a design that lends itself really nicely to the space here. So yeah, so it's going to be really nice to see the finished look. These are old walls, so they're not without imperfections. So we're just going to be filling in all the holes, and then there is a wallpaper that you can put on top before you paint that kind of equalizes everything, gets rid of all the minor imperfections. But yeah, so far, lots going on in here and lots of changes. It's really exciting. So we're starting with this room. And then once we are finished with this room, we're going to move on to the breakfast room, which is this room here. We will continue the paneling throughout here. I think that will look really nice. And then we will go back to the conservatory and finish the whole conservatory. And then we have like this part of the house finished and ready to put furniture and live in, because we can lock these doors. And then we have like one space that is kind of hidden away. You can say kind of almost like an apartment inside the house. And that way, when all the other work is going on through the rest of the house, there's always a place that is finished and tidy and clean, and that you can rest at the end of the day or when we come to visit. So that's the main idea. We don't really know exactly what the time span and time frame is going to be to getting all this completed. It's kind of just one day at a time for now and figuring out what all the jobs are. It's facing me. It's yeah, so we're gonna see. It's just bit by bit for now. What we've also done, you can see through here, what we've also done is we've taken all the big shutters off, and how these windows work is that they lift up, and there's like a weight in here that drops down and helps you lift the whole window up. But that's exposed now because the shutters are through here, and they're all getting sanded back before we paint. That way they are stripped of all the layers of paint, and we get back the original shape, and it's going to look much better. And then there's a couple of like cracks that we're going to fill in with resin, and everything will look basically like brand new by the time we're done. But this is a little bit of an update of how it's looking now. I think it's come out looking really, really promising so far. We're definitely making the right steps. I also ordered all new light switches for this living room, and they're going to be arriving today, and I'm going to show you guys because they look actually really nice. And I think that's going to make a big difference in terms of like how the whole room is going to look. But yeah, it's a bit of a menagerie today of all these different sorts of things. But there's like an excitement in the air with the first thing starting to happen. Even though we're not traveling at a very fast pace, I feel like there is still quite a lot happening I mean, my dad's doing basically everything right now on his own. So it's quite impressive how fast things are going. But okay, let's get to the rest. It's another day. Lots of progress has been happening kind of like behind the scenes with the house. And today's a very exciting day also because it's the first bit of paint that we're actually putting on the house. Hello?
What are you doing?
Well, I'm just giving them an update. But as I was saying, today is a very exciting day because it's the first bit of paint that's going on the house. There's been a lot of prep work to the living room, the breakfast room, and to where the first paint is going to, and that's like the conservatory / winter garden room.
Yes.
Which is going to be really fun. I was telling you guys last time that I bought all these like special switches for the house, and this is what they look like. They're kind of like old, a little bit like traditional old-fashioned switches in brass. I think they will look really nice.
Can we do the sound?
It's got a really sturdy like little clicker here. So these will be really nice. Also, all the dimmers are in the same one. This one did come scratched though, so I'm gonna have to contact the company about that. But yeah, so that's what's going to be going on there. There's been a bunch of other work happening, and I feel like we're really getting like a move on things. Also, another thing that's happened is we've ordered the kitchen island for this room. Let me spin you guys around. I'm going to show you the dimensions because we've kind of like spaced it out.
So I really like the kitchen, and I've always really wanted to have an island. So this is like a real dream. Did you talk about the new floor yet? So we might do a new floor, which I'm a little bit mixed about because in the beginning I wasn't sure about this floor, but now we've lived here. It's super cute and it fits the house, and it just reminds me of the old woman that used to live here, who is very sweet. But yeah, we'll probably go for a new floor too. And the island is here.
Yes.
I'm standing now. So we taped it to see the sizes. Because on one side we will be able to sit, so we wanted to see if it makes sense like this.
So the kitchen island will be quite large. It's 1.4 meters wide by like 2.8, something like that. I don't remember exactly the measurements, but it will be quite big. And we're gonna have like electric, like an induction cooker on it, a wine fridge, and an oven. Even though we have the Aga here, we thought it would be nice still to, because in the summer having this on full blast in order for it to cook does make the room quite warm. So maybe then we can turn this down in the summer and always have something ready to go there to cook the rest of the time. But yeah, that's gonna be something that happens a little bit later. I think we're still like 2 months out. They're installing the kitchen island. I think it should be just before Christmas, which will be exciting. That'll be a nice gift. But there is some prep work that needs to happen in this room. Obviously, all the cabinets need to be painted. I think what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna take you around and show you what's happened so far. And then we're gonna start painting. And we're painting that room with a spray gun. So it will be very satisfying and it should go through quite quickly. I will tell you guys that my first headache in this project was finding the right white color for the walls. It drove me absolutely nuts because anytime you are trying to pick a white, depending on what time of the day it is and what kind of light you have coming from outside, depending on what colors is bouncing off of or you're holding it up against, the whites look completely different. So you have like the same tone of white and it looks like 10 different shades every time you look at it. And because we were doing a white throughout this whole south side of the house, it was so important to nail the right one. And I wanted a white that was like a little bit warmer toned and muddy, but not yellow. And the reason for that is it's quite a big space that we're trying to paint here. And these houses can be like a little bit colder houses in the winter. And I didn't want to have a cool toned white that was gonna make it look cold. I wanted a white that was going to be like very warm, very happy, but not yellow. I wanted to steer away from anything yellow. And what was currently on the house was a lot of yellow, which I think worked really nicely for how it was. But for the vision of where I was going, I was thinking to myself, okay, no, we need to definitely go more on the like clean white. Through incredible trial and error, which I will say it's the only way of actually trying to nail something for these kind of projects, is you just got to try it sometimes and say, yes, I like it, no, I don't. But through an incredibly long and arduous trial and error process, I was able to find the right color white. Also, it was important that not only I liked the color, but Jesse liked it too. So we ended up finding one that was absolutely perfect. I'm going to put the color code here in case anybody is looking, because it is such a headache. Now, we've recycled some old curtains to make a little door here, because as you can see, a lot has been going on. There's a whole new render that's going on the wall. You can see the new render. This is the old one. Some of the wall paneling on this side has started to go on. Everything has been stripped and sanded down. Also, this has all been stripped and sanded down. It's a glorious day outside today. This room is my dad. This room is coming along really well. The wall paneling looks beautiful. It looks really, really nice. So we've done the whole room. We've wrapped all the way around with the wall paneling. The windows have come out because we've had to do some work on the window frames and also on the windows themselves. So here you can see the windows are just laying here getting ready for some work. Also, a lot of the shutters have been brought to another place now to fully strip the paint off of them. So it always gets a bit worse before it gets better, but today is the moment where it is going to start to get a little bit better, hopefully for this room in here, because as you can see, it's all taped up and this whole room is going to be getting a good spray. We're replacing all of the roofing here, so it doesn't matter if we spray onto that today, but everything else here will be getting a nice spray. This should be quite a big transformation today, hopefully. Are you excited?
We don't need to cover the rest of the floor though, because we will change the floor.
Change the floor?
Like we will not.
This floor will not come out.
So we need to cover it all?
Well, my dad won't be spraying that low, he said.
Because he wanted us to like close it all off.
And the color scheme for the house as a whole is we're doing kind of, I have the swatch. You can't really tell, I think, on camera. Let me show you. Do you see these swatches here? We're doing this middle swatch, which actually reads a little bit more white. Let me turn you around, maybe you can see better. The swatch reads a little bit more white on camera, but it's actually a bit more of a warmer white. I tried some other ones, were getting a bit too dark, and this one's a bit too cool toned. So we're going to be doing everything in this white. So everything below the picture rail, which is this thing here, is going to be in that white. All the door frames, all the windows, everything, and also everything in the conservatory here. And then everything above the picture rail here is going to be just like a pure ceiling white. So we'll have a little bit of contrast, but because there's so many details and so much wood, I didn't want to have like a really big stark contrast. I wanted the space to flow a little bit more seamlessly, especially because we're going to be hanging a lot of stuff on the walls. I didn't want to have like too much going on. So just a nice, it's not like a yellow white, because I looked a lot to make sure that I didn't have like a yellow white, just a white that has a bit of warmth behind it, a bit of gray warmth. So hopefully we've nailed the color. We're gonna see how it looks today I just don't know what to call this room. My parents call it the winter garden, I call it the conservatory, and then in Dutch there's like the perfect word, it's called the serre, or also they say orangerie in Dutch. But those words describe it perfectly. In English, I'm not sure. But yeah, we're just doing the final prep now, and then we're going to start spraying. So you guys are going to be taking a look at that very first spray, and hopefully we'll do a nice before and after. I mean, we'll show you the process, but also a nice before and after of the whole process.
done. It looks quite good. There's gonna have to be a couple of touch-ups here and there happening, but for the most part it's not bad. The color I really love. It's a nice white, definitely on the brighter side, but without being like super cold. Like this is quite a blue toned white, and this is definitely a bit more of like a warmer, richer white. This is only the first pass. We're gonna have to do at least 2 passes everywhere, maybe even 3. But so far, I am very impressed with the outcome. My dad did a good job.
Thing that we had to do once we kind of had established the walls and painted the walls is the floor. Now that's something else that we really wanted to nail. There was some repair work that needed to happen to the floor, which meant we had to sand the whole floor back in order to do the repair work, fix anything that needed to be fixed, and then we could stain it all the same. And I don't know if you guys remember, but the breakfast room originally was actually painted blue, and we wanted to keep the same dark wooden stain throughout the whole house. We actually completely loved the wooden stain that was originally on there, so I did my best to try and color match and find the exact same wood stain again, because I basically was like, I just want to fix the floor and have it look exactly the same. So that's what we did. Good morning, everyone. It's a brand new day here at the new house. We are in early December, and I just wanted to give you an update on the renovations, because as you can see, there has been a lot going on. Let me spin you guys around and we can take a better look. Now, where do we begin? Let's start off with the floor. We've been able to sand back the floor to the original state. So this is just raw pine looking at us here. And as you can see, I started to do, well, they're a bit dirty and dusty now, but I started to do some swatches of what was going to be closest to the original floor. Now, let me show you. This was the original floor right through here. That will also need to get a little bit of a clean and stain. But I did these 3 swatches, and I think this one is the closest one. This is just a little bit too red tinged. You can see here where that red undertone is, and this one is much more like a dark wood, kind of dark chestnut, I would say. So that's going to be the stain that we're going to be going for. So that's on the agenda for today. But what has been done? All the walls, the ceiling has been painted. This is just a temporary light we moved in here because we couldn't see a thing. But the walls have been painted, the door frames have been painted, the ceiling has been painted, all of this has been painted. The windows have been painted. We are still needing to put back the shutters, which will cover this. I can show you that just through here, they have been painted. So these are some of the shutters and some of those elements there. But yeah, all in all, it's coming together. The stain on the floor today will already make a really big difference. This is the library. It has been painted. The shelves need to be painted still. That's some of the hardware from the windows. And now here in the, my parents call it the winter garden, I call it the conservatory. We've fully changed the roof. My dad did an amazing job on that. So there is no more leaks. Everything has been secure. It's all done very neatly. There is some damage repair happening up there. This is in the midst of being finished. We had to still do some touch-ups to the wood, so that's being done. And then we're having also now silicone placed on all the interiors and some final sandings and paintings. So, but this room should be finished today, which is exciting. So this is the breakfast room. As you can see, it's also painted. Still a while away from being completed. The ceiling's also done. This door will be getting painted and put back on hopefully soon. But all in all, it's actually looking really nice. We will do this floor at a later date. We're gonna first try and concentrate onto here to make sure that we do this one right, learn from our mistakes. So I've got a bunch of taping off to do and prep work. But today we'll see this space really transform. And I'm excited about that because it's been like 2-3 months of renovating, and to finally have a few spaces completed will be really, really nice. First coat is on. We'll definitely need a second coat, but this was a good start. I was able to find the right color stain, and it was such an incredible amount of work to sand all these floors back, because it is a pine floor, which means it's on the softer side, so you can't use anything super rough, which means you're basically using like a hand sander or a sanding machine, and it takes forever. When I say forever, like 2 weeks to sand the floors. And I have to give it to my parents, because for a lot of this project, they have been involved and they've helped us out so much with all of these jobs. My dad is a builder, so it has been incredibly helpful for him to actually be on board and give his advice and be able to kind of steer us in the right direction and carry out a lot of the work himself. He has had some help, but he has also taken a lot of the majority of the work on himself. And, you know, this isn't a race, it's a marathon. We're just doing the slow burn and getting there bit by bit. But without my parents, we absolutely couldn't have done this. Last time we were in this space, we were just finalizing the floor. Since you guys saw the floor last, we've applied one more layer of color, which has brought this space to perfection. And then we finished it off with a couple of layers of lacquer, just to create this little bit of shine and to protect the floors as well. Let me show you the outcome, because I couldn't have been more happy with how the floors turned out. Ready? Look at this. Now this is exactly the kind of color we were going for. It's kind of like this aged, antique, very authentic looking wood. This is of course how we started. We're actually going to be tackling this room today. But here you can really see the difference of where this space is going. I am so happy. I was so worried. I didn't want to take any of the imperfections out of the floor. I only wanted to fix it, sand it back, and restain it to have it looking exactly the same. And I think we were really able to achieve that. I don't know if you guys remember, but through the breakfast room here, this was actually painted blue before, which was done sometime in the early 2000s or the late 90s. And we wanted to bring this back to wood. So we've actually never seen both of these rooms with a wood, exposed wood with a dark stain. So it's going to be really nice seeing this space flow into that space with the same floor. And then other things that are happening, there's a bunch of painting going on in the kitchen. I can give you a quick look. Hold on. Yes, they're busy at work. Oh, the windows are going back on. Yeah, so lots of change going on in there. I will guide you through that change a little bit better later on. You guys might have also seen that there's this box just hanging out here, and that is something very special. I ordered this chandelier I think even before we bought the house, because I just saw this while I was shopping online, it was an antique piece from Italy and I just fell in love with it. And I thought one day I will have a home where this will fit. Now, I hope this is the home. We have placed this chandelier here, which actually, when I look at scale, it's quite a nice size. As you can tell, this chandelier is much bigger, and it's a completely different style. It's much more in the direction of where I would like to go with the styling of this room, but I am a little bit concerned that it's going to be a bit too big for this space. But we're going to be unpacking it today and hanging it up and seeing a little bit scale-wise how that goes. I think it'll be at least twice the size of that, if not more. Certainly a lot more lights on it too. So today is just an exciting day. There's so many things. The whole house is coming together. The kitchen and all these rooms are going to be finished this week, by the end of the week. We have the kitchen island being installed Friday, Saturday. So these spaces are getting finalized. It's finally coming together. But first things first is we're going to put this light up, see what it looks like, and then we're going to be starting to stain the other floor. For this room, everything is getting pretty much done for this room. The whole roof here has been replaced. There's only a couple of small painting details and this floor has to come out. But overall, it's all really coming together. Are you ready to look at the chandelier?
I guess.
Open her up. We just have to be careful not to scratch the wood in here, won't we? No, I know, because all the nails. Here we go. Oh, yeah.
No,
Oh my God, she's huge.
Oh, I can use this for my packages.
Well, there's lots for you to use. Yes, sir, don't do this.
Right.
Oh.
This is really good to have, actually.
Well, you have a lot, so there you go. Yes, sir, no, let's not start this, come on. Let's try and keep the peace in here. There's already so many people and noise.
This?
Well, of course, but let's take it out first, because I want to see what's going on in here.
How are we going to get that out?
Well, first let's remove this. Oh, some of it I think is under. You just have to be careful.
Is it like a bell?
Oh, it's not too big.
I can put myself in here and surprise you.
I don't know what the hell that box is with all those things, but
lights.
I don't know how we should do it. If we should like take it out.
I think we just open this.
Oh my gosh, it's so windy outside. It's very windy out here today. Oh. I'm scared something's gonna get ruined here.
I could have used this box. So.
Careful for the box. There's a box down there. Oh! Gosh.
You scared me.
I know how I feel. Now, just threw it down, didn't he? Okay, let's get this.
I mean, it's quite large and in charge.
Yeah, but it's way smaller than what I thought, thank God. Because when I saw the box, I was very worried.
Because where else could this go if it were to end
Dining room. But it will be perfect for in here, the size. I see it. In my mind, I'm seeing it all come together. It's going to be good. I don't fully remember either, because it's been months now that we've owned it. And it's just been sitting in this box.
It's really been a very long time.
You know I bought it before we had the house?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, we had seen the house.
Yeah, we had seen it, but we hadn't bought it. Here comes the magic.
Hot. It's just autumn.
Oh, we have to be so careful with the crystal. There's also a crystal that hangs, but we have to hang it ourselves.
Real crystal?
I don't know.
Jeetje. Beetje epic. So.
How exciting.
Would be nice in the dining room, actually.
Yeah, but this is gonna be a nice...
I like that one here, only it's just like so... Something's off about it.
Yeah, it's unbalanced, that one. Let's slowly free this up.
Mooi hoor. So, how much did we pay for this?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't say.
You know what? I don't think it's actually a real antique when I look at it now, but that's fine. It'll do either way.
It won't be antique in a few years.
Yeah. Oh, it's...
Oh, it comes with the gloves.
We have instructions. Oh,
You don't need to wear gloves.
here's the whole thing.
Use crystals in every single thing.
That's the thing. Those crystals in there.
But how do we get the lights?
Now we might just have to buy them separate. Oh, here. These are...
Oh, sorry.
I'm getting real tired of this.
So,
Oh, wow. Look at them there. I'm not sure about this glove. It's giving me the ick.
wait, look.
They're definitely
This is.
Don't do that. It's like the Grinch. They're definitely not real, but that's fine. We'll make them work.
So don't come here and steal it. Oh, this is a necklace.
Okay. Yes has become like a jeweler. He's setting everything out that we have to put on. We've put the first little row on here.
Give them all a little rub.
Are you enjoying this work?
I mean, it's okay. I just hope I'm not doing it wrong. I just have a bit of stress for the time.
I know. Yessa has to go, unfortunately. He doesn't have long to go. But it's really sweet because you have a Make-A-Wish
Yes.
today with a girl that's been having a tough time, so that's sweet.
Very sweet. She's
So
coming.
it's a good reason to be in a rush, I guess, if there ever is one.
Yes.
We're gonna have to bring this through together gently. I'll take it from the back, yes, and you take it from the front. And I think we just have to hold it from 2 arms each. And now we rise up. Rise up again. It's in?
Yes.
Okay,
I can't let go.
careful.
More. When you cut out.
Yeah, it does need to go up a little. But we can just adjust the chain, no? To the hook. But we will only know the height when we put the bottom in. Absolutely gorgeous. You want to pop the finale on? I don't know how much time you have left, but yes has to go, but I asked him if he wanted to put the finale piece on. So the last one that goes at the bottom, I'll finish the rest. He's got his glove back on. Yeah. There it is. Don't fondle it like that. That looks really nice. We just have to put the remaining crystals at the bottom. It's because I haven't been involved with it myself from the start.
Okay. Thank you. Bye. Can you...
We've got the height sorted now. I actually don't know what color these... Oh, they're quite a nice color. I was hoping it wouldn't be white, the color of the lampshades, but they're actually this very slight ivory. That's gonna look really nice because otherwise it's gonna be too much. Oh, we'll have to see if it's too yellow actually. We'll have to see it when it's on. Pop them all on and see how it looks. But first I might have to actually go get... There they go. First I'm actually gonna have to go get some lights because these have to be squished. You put this on. Oh no, maybe not. Do you put the light on first or these, Dad? Oh, okay, good. Then I will put them on and have a look. It's up. Now, the lampshades is not something that I picked. It just came with the chandelier, and I think it's far too yellow for what I would like. So I think we're gonna go down more the road of like an ivory. But all in all, it looks really, really nice. I'm really happy with it. And I think size-wise, I'm gonna back up for you guys. If But I think size-wise, it actually doesn't look too bad at all, proportions. But that yellow, no, that's not gonna work for me. But the chandelier itself, I'm very, very happy with. And there's still heaps. I can walk under it easily without it touching my head or anything. Show you guys from this side. Look at that. That looks nice. Just that yellow is screaming at me. I'm gonna have to order them tonight because that's gonna keep me up at night. But overall, I'm super happy with this. So this does bring us now to the end of the first episode I'm doing here of this home renovation series on my channel. I think this episode served as a bit of like a taste of where our head was at for the renovations and which directions we went to when assessing like the skeleton of the interiors and the color schemes and some like key essential pieces of what we were going to do, which is like the foundation for everything else that's to come still. So obviously moving forward, there's going to be more videos showing you guys going more into the details of the kitchen insole, the kitchen island, the new countertops, all the paintwork that happened in there, all the furniture that we purchased, which furniture arriving, all of the install of everything being put in. So there's still lots to show you, but we're going kind of pace by pace as things happen. But the next video will not be in too long, so definitely keep an eye out for that. For now, that's it though. Thank you guys all so much for watching as always, and I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Bye.